dams in the country.
To look into not only the Alao Dam, but other dams in the country, to reassess them and come up with recommendations that will solve the challenge of flooding, and also putting into use the available dams we have.
Ministry of Works got approvals for various roads construction and rehabilitation projects across the country, including Section 2 of the Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway and a section of the Abuja-Kaduna Road.
And that is 82 kilometers by 2, and it's to be done with asphalt that they have been working with. And the third section is Buat, which is just 17 kilometers to be done on concrete. And so today, FEC approved that of Jolobeja because the other two were not before FEC. And so for a total contract sum of 740 billion.
Similarly, the FCT administration secured council's approvals to improve infrastructures across its satellite towns, which include roads construction in Kwali, Gwagwalada and Buari area councils.
It has been Mr. President's renewable agenda that we should also take development to the satellite towns. As I speak to you today, I know before December we'll be able to commission not less than 75 kilometers of roads. But Mr. President had also said we must continue to give hope and give infrastructure to satellite towns.
Finance Minister also briefed on the objectives of the Executive Economic Stabilization Bill to be sent to the National Assembly.
It contains, for example, items that change the Foreign Exchange Act, give greater liquidity and encourage the use of electronic rather than cash means, for example, and of course, giving the central bank even greater ability to bring in and attract funds such as the money from the international money transfer organizations.
Therein is also a proposal to amend the Companies Income Tax Act to allow Nigerians with the skills and relevant relationships to provide services to foreign companies while they live in Nigeria. From the State House, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
Still on approval given by the Federal Executive Council, the Ministry of Information and National Orientation is set to begin a nationwide program to revitalize core national values of the country currently facing decadence. This follows approval granted to the ministry by the Federal Executive Council. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, who announced the approval after the meeting of the Council, says it will enable the ministry and its agencies begin measures to strengthen core national values across primary and secondary schools, institute the National Value Charter, as well as standardize national symbols.
The National Citizens Values Brigade will be established, not just in primary schools, in secondary schools, across this country. Now, this will also help to create the ambassadors of Nigerian values that this country seeks to have. Again, there was an approval of the inclusion of the National Values Charter and the national symbols to be made mandatory, not just in our curriculum, in the teaching of civic education, but also among appointees of government. For example, at every retreat, at the inception of every administration, members, for example, of the Federal Executive Council will have some form of workshop or training on what our national values are, so that this can be further be inculcated. And not only that, also the standardization of our national symbols. The national flag, the national anthem, the Naira notes, the Constitution, and all those things that make what we call our national symbols. We must standardize them. Council has approved that the National Orientation Agency will take charge of that. The way we see our flags being hosted in some indiscriminate manner will be standardized.
Meanwhile, Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima is in New York ahead of the 79th United Nations General Assembly session. Leading Nigeria's delegation as directed by President Bola Tinubu. We'll bring you details of that report in the course of the bulletin. Meanwhile, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugga, has called for a deadline extension in implementing the SDG 2030 agenda since Africa falls short of the remaining 84% of the SDG targets. Yusuf Tugga made the appeal at the Summit of the Future, which marks the opening of the 79th United Nations General Assembly in New York, United States. Noting that the SDG Index estimates that about 16% of the SDG targets are on track to be achieved.
Must therefore ensure that today's adoption of the Pact for the Future is backed by a real willingness to fulfill outstanding commitments. With the remaining 84% of the SDG targets for 2030 yet to be achieved, countries in the global north must do more to support sustainable development in the global south. We're optimistic that these targets can be met if commitments are backed by action. However, in the event of achieving the SDG targets by 2030, we strongly believe that the deadline should be extended.
The minister called for the support of the international community to assist Africa through sustainable financing to accelerate the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. To ensure a strategic in favor of women. That's how members of the Organization of African First Ladies for Development describes the introduction of the alternative high school for girls by Nigeria's First Lady, Ulu Education, hosted by the organization in partnership with Their World. Focused on empowering Africa's future through education, this high-level dinner hosted by OFLAD in partnership with Their World, an organization led by former First Lady of the United Kingdom, Sarah Brown, cannot but take cognizance of the interventions by Nigeria's First Lady in education and childbirth registration.
Campaign. I just want to say that you've helped launch the initiative that we're running. It's a beautiful White Ribbon Alliance and some of the other.
Whether getting involved in policy making or running projects like mine, young people are eager to be part of the solution. We have seen youth talent that our continent possesses. It's a way of securing the future for the next generation of world leaders.
And now we'll take a break so I can fix this. Try not to turn me into an internet meme.
The Bureau of Public Service Reforms is pleased to announce commencement of the pre-retirement training program for selected federal government parastatals scheduled for officers who are retired or retiring between January 2023 and December 2024. The training will be held from 23rd to 27th September 2024 at the following zonal centers nationwide: Northwest Zone, Aminu Kano Center for Democratic Research and Training, Mumbai House, BUK, Kano, Kano State. North Central Zone, Amikelo Guest Inn, off Shandam Road, Lafia, Nasarawa State. Northeast Zone, Hadia Amina Memorial Hall, opposite Federal Inland Revenue Service, Gombe State. South Zone, Hotel Benizia by DBS Road, Asaba, Delta State. Southeast Zone, Royal Palace Hotel, Agbai Road, Enugu, Enugu State. Southwest Zone, Lagos State Public Service Staff Club, Shobo, Arobiodun Street, GRE, Ikeja, Lagos, Lagos State. All officers that fall within the period of selection are advised to check their names in Daily Trust, The Nation, and Daily Sun newspapers of Friday 20th September 2024 and our website at www.bpsr.gov.ng, and please report to the aforementioned zonal centers at 8 a.m. for registration on the 23rd of September 2024. Signed, Director General, Bureau of Public Service Reforms.
Babies are God's gifts to parents, and breast milk is God's gift to babies. It contains all the important nutrients and minerals your baby needs, including water, for the first 6 months. Give your baby breast milk only. Remember, breast milk only for the first 6 months. This message is from the ANRIN Project, Federal Ministry of Health.
Budget Office of the Federation BOF will commence training for all budget officers in federal ministries, departments and agencies who will be involved in the preparation of the 2025 budget. The training on the GIFMIS budget preparation subsystem will hold physically in Abuja for MDAs in North Central, Tuesday, September 24 to Friday, September 27. Other zones, Northwest, Northeast and Southwest, Lagos and Ibadan will commence from Monday, September 30 to Thursday, October 3, while Southeast Zone will hold from Wednesday, October 2 to Saturday, October 5, 2024. Enquiries on the training, please call 0800-CALL-BOF. Tenimu Yakubu, Director General, Budget Office of the Federation. Announcer.
We don't like to eat better, more nutritious meals, more veggies, but we want it tasty and easy too. Knorr Cubes, that's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic. And enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you and more delicious too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
Join the excitement with Betano, the premier sports betting platform in Nigeria and proud official partner of Aston Villa. Enjoy our award-winning experience with fantastic betting options, cash out, and engaging missions. Discover even more exclusive features. Join now and receive a welcome bonus of up to 200,000 naira. Betano. The game starts now.
Has established a dedicated account aimed at supporting the ongoing efforts to alleviate the hardship